has dug deep into his new company, and boy, he does not like what he sees. In an internal memo, Nokia CEO Stephen Elop compared his company to a man standing on a burning oil platform. Tomorrow, Stephen Elop is going to unveil Nokia's new strategy, but today we've got CCS Insight analyst Ben Wood to talk about Nokia's prospects and just what, if anything, Stephen Elop can do to save this smartphone strategy. Stephen is with us, Ben is with us on the phone from London. Ben, just how shocking is it to you that Stephen Elop would compare Nokia's position to a man standing on a burning oil platform?
Well, it's very different to the approach that the very conservative Finnish CEO they had previously would have taken. And to me, I think it's a clear reflection of the fact that he's had a good look at this business, and he is quite shocked by the depth of problems that the company is currently facing.
What's the objective here? Is he trying to scare the daylights out of Nokia's employees to effectively rally them to the cause of challenging Google and Apple in the world of smartphones, where Nokia has fallen so far behind?
Oh, undoubtedly. I don't know whether it's about scaring them. I mean, maybe it's a bit of kind of shock and awe, where he's just trying to make it very clear that no stone will go unturned. You know, everything and every option is open, and I think you're going to see him talking about structural changes to the business, management changes to the business, and some changes in strategy too.
Is it as bad as he paints it? Is Nokia like a man standing on a burning oil platform?
I think it's a good assessment. I think that Nokia has kind of been sleepwalking for some time, and I think that we felt as analysts that it was clear to everybody looking at Nokia that they had a major problem at their smartphone space, and all the big players had that problem when Apple arrived and latterly Google with Android. But when they started hemorrhaging market share in the entry-level market in places like India, we started to get very worried then. So, yes, I think his concerns are valid.
So what, in your mind, are the chances that Stephen Elop can do what Bill Gates did back in 1995? He put out a memo internally called the Internet Tidal Wave, trying to draw attention to the threat posed to Microsoft by Netscape. That turned out to be a successful approach. Microsoft came out with Internet Explorer, and we all know what happened to Netscape. Can Stephen Elop do the same thing with Nokia? Is that even possible at this point?
Well, I think the memo is a clear reflection of the fact that he needs to see a major cultural change in the Nokia business. Yeah, I've always talked about Nokia as a lean, mean phone-making machine. This is a company that spits out, at its heyday, 13 phones a second. Yeah, that's an eye-watering machine that can do distribution, brand, reach, almost every country in the world except North Korea. This was a company that was totally and utterly focused on hardware. He needs to shake it up, and it's now much more than just the hardware that you make. It's the software, which is the big area everyone wants to hear about tomorrow, but also the services and applications that go on top of the phones as well.
Speaking of what we're going to hear tomorrow, the speculation is that Nokia is going to announce some kind of an alliance, a joint venture with Microsoft, a company that itself has had limited success challenging Apple and Google in the smartphone world. Is that going to be enough to meet the challenge that faces this company?
Well, I think the first thing you're going to see tomorrow is a kind of mea culpa from Mr. Elop. He's going to stand up and say, you know what, I've done a thorough assessment. I am more concerned and somewhat alarmed by what I've seen, and therefore it's going to take time to fix that. We'll have to change the structure of the business. We may have to change some of the executive leadership. We may write down some assets. We may dispose of some assets. But he will honestly admit that the problem is the software. Right now, Nokia has two of its own software platforms, a platform called Symbian and a newer one called Migo, which has yet to deliver a device. They need to plug the gap, and that platform could be Microsoft Windows Phone 7. But as you correctly point out, Microsoft has had limited success with that platform so far.
Ben, thanks so much for joining us. Ben Wood, an analyst at CCS Insight.